All right, welcome to Teaching Crypto. AZcrypto, MrFOMO. Please hit that like, the subscribe button. Guess what? Bull run officially back. We've been saying it, but now all-time highs since the last time we spoke. It has happened. And I did tell you, MrFOMO, I'm not going to say I told you so, that if a certain outcome happened, it would spur a quicker rise. And boy, did we get it. A week ago, sitting below 70, now sitting firmly at all-time highs. Not only have we taken over 70 as support, it looks like we have 75K as support, and 80 is looking very, very close. Things appear closer than they are in your mirror while you're driving up that ramp to 100K. How are you doing, Mr. FOMO?
I am feeling pretty good. My portfolio is up. Everything's looking really nice. Um, we have no way of knowing whether or not it would have gone up if it had gone the other way. So you really can't tell. What we're really waiting on is to make sure that we don't have uniformity all through the House and Senate. And so
I don't think it's going to matter. I don't not for the next 6 to 8 months. You're talking about something that's gonna be key for the regular economy over the next 2 to 3 years. For the Bitcoin bull run and crypto, I don't think it means a thing.
we shall see.
We'll
We
see.
shall
We'll
see.
see. But the market right now is spoken. You always say the market. You got to go with what the market does. You can't. And right now it's spoken. Right. The volume, the all time highs, and if we look at this chart, Mr. FOMO, like really quickly here, um, the weekly is very very promising. Right. Like that's kind of what I'm really uh, really excited about here. If you could put that on the screen for us really quickly. Um, that's the volume that's come
Uh,
in over the past 7 days has been insane, right? And I was wrong about my 80K. When I got my haircut, I waited too long, and so I did have a buzz cut and took off most of my hair. Right? But if you guys think, hey, I'm happy to go back and do it again, if because we didn't do a show for 8 days when it happened, but you know, 80K by November 1st didn't happen. But I would be stunned if we don't get to 80K by Thanksgiving here. In fact, I could see an 80K by Sunday night, Monday morning here. And the question is, do we have a major dip before 100K? It's no longer if we're going to get to 100K, and we're never going straight up. There will be small dips. But do you foresee a major dip before the 100K, or do you think it's happening after?
I think it's happening after we get to 90 and 100K. What I foresee happening is a bit of a Santa rally here going into November and December. Get Hopefully, this is hopeful. Cross our fingers. We get about 10 to 15% in both of those months, and that puts us right where we want to be by the beginning of the year. And so, hopefully we're going to get a Santa rally here. We're going to keep going up. We'll see 90, we'll see 80, we'll see 90, and then we'll get close to 100K before we finally get that big drawback.
Now, we don't want to talk about Bitcoin today. Yeah, Bitcoin's been doing amazing. People are finally calling for the 100K we have. Good morning, Antonio. What about the Soul Trade, Mr. FOMO? It is finally, after several delays, it's taken off. And look at this, back to 200, just like that. Boom. Remember, I was calling for 300 Sol, and I was a month too early. But that's my price target right now. I think right now, do your own research, but it's not too late to jump on that Soul train, right? There's still some seats available here. And I really, really like it to get all-time highs this month. 204. Guess what? We're up 40% on Sol this month. Let me repeat that. We are up 40%. You could have gotten Sol a month ago at 135. Now you're sitting here at 200. The bottom line is this. The motto of the show, accumulation time is over. I mean, you can still buy definitely, but not, and that's what we're saying. It was boring for 8 months and people were angry and frustrated and gave up, right? But what did we say? We said, you stay long enough and hold on, you will be rewarded. And now it's about when do you take profit. So now you got to be realistic. If you're waiting for 1,000 Sol, you may miss your chance. Okay. So you want to, like you said, you want to have a strategy. Do you take profits at 220, 250, 275, 300? Do you take some out here and there? Do you take your initial investment out? This is when you need to be aware of what's happening. So lock it in here. Like I said, we're gonna try to really ramp up the shows. But this is what we've been waiting for, Mr. FOMO, for 2.5 years. It's finally here. It's profit taking time, not accumulation. So now the number one rule is don't just text and send out posts of your portfolio. Take those profits.
Right. And when you're looking at Solana here, if you just think this is going to 300, then you're looking at least 50% on your money in the short term.
Very
That's
short.
that's really good. I mean, you can't get that on the regular market. That's why we're here in crypto. But that's a really good return. And so you should be happy with that. I mean, you get 30, 40, 50%. You got to be happy with that. Take that money off the table, because crypto, as fast as it goes up, it goes right back down, especially the altcoins. The altcoins get decimated when Bitcoin even just goes sideways. And so I would, like AZ said, I would be in profit taking mode and for the next few months. Now that you've built up that portfolio, we've been building up these portfolios for 2 years now.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so those of you who have been with us and those of you who have been building in that time, you shouldn't be worried about when to take profits. You're already in profits, right?
Well, on some of the alts, some of us got trapped in March for the last 8 months, but we're close. We're close to being back in profit
But
on
at the
Bitcoin.
very least on Bitcoin, depending on
Yeah,
how much you put in there, you've got considerable profits already.
absolutely. Well, everyone's in profit that have bought in the past with the all-time highs.
And
Well,
so, but what I was getting at with Solana and the altcoins is be happy when you get a certain amount.
mhm.
Set a target, hit that target, take the money off the table, treat yourself, leave that money there so it's dry powder for the next dip or the next bear market, and you'll be all set.
Or you could reinvest in Bitcoin in the next bear market, but we're not quite there.
Right. Like I
Um,
said, in the next bear market, you jump back in.
So, Mr. Farmer, before we get to ETH, because I want to talk about ETH, because that's one of the safest plays. So, if you're new to crypto, look at that chart right there. Look at that. Look at that. Just a week ago. Look at that rad and look how quickly it turned. Things move fast. This is not traditional market, right? So, ETH right now is under 3,000. Guys, it could be at 3,500 a week from now. It could be at 4K 2 weeks from now. My target for ETH has always been between 5 and 10K. And you told me off the air yesterday you weren't quite sure about the 10K, but you would be looking to take profits more around the 4K range. But we want to warn our viewers that the good times will not last. This is not something that's going to be going on for months and years, right? And that's the trap people fall into, is like, oh my God, things are great. Now I'm going to buy and I'm going to hold forever. And then 5 months from now, you could be in for a rude awakening. We don't know what the future holds, right? We don't
5 months
know.
from now, we could be in a buy the rumor, sell the news, or sell the event situation on inauguration day, like you said off the air yesterday. I could see us go through a Santa rally, and then mid-January, right around inauguration time, when everyone expects it to pop off again, I could see us taking a dive really quick, especially if Trump is talking about tariffs or
It's possible.
something like that.
It's possible. You don't know the future, and there's still manipulation in the market. Okay, it it doesn't. It hasn't leveled off. This is not traditional market just yet. Long term, if you want to hold Bitcoin for 4 years, 8 years, 12 years, you are going to be rewarded, and time is showing that over and over and over again. Right? Every time someone says Bitcoin is down, what happens after the halving, after the cooling off period? This is what happens, right? So people were calling Bitcoin dead at 15, 20, 30. A lot of people gave up at the last 8 months. 8 months is a long time. That tests your patience, right? And you were down, and I had to pick you up on the phone, and I had to say, no, we're coming back. You're right. You've said this is not like the market last time. And you're correct. There aren't everyone's not at home with extra money, but FOMO, as your name says, still exists. And I think there's going to be a lot of FOMO over the next few weeks. And I'm predicting these alts go fast pretty quickly. So be ready, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, people aren't sitting around with extra cash in their pockets, but you're right. People do get excited and people do throw money at things. And that's why, talking about these alts, we would be remiss if we didn't mention something like meme coins.
Mm-hmm.
We've poo-pooed them in the past and said that they're not the greatest thing, but pay attention to something like Doge, especially as Elon, cozies his way into a Trump cabinet somewhere. We may see Elon talk about Dogecoin a little bit more, or talk about incorporating crypto into the government a little bit more. Maybe we'll finally see him take crypto payments at Tesla. But don't sleep on something like Doge, especially now that it's nowhere near its all-time highs.
And by the way, I want to mention something that we haven't talked about for months. One of your favorites, I don't know if you're still holding, we haven't talked about it, but Muse is slowly looking like it's coming back from hibernation. That's one with only a 3.4 million market cap. For the first time in ages, it went up yesterday, almost 7%, and daily volume went up. If these things pop, they go fast, right? Do your own
Right.
research. But if we're looking at something that's a $3.4 million market cap, it could be at 9 within 48, 72 hours. I'm not saying go buy Muse, do your own research, but that's why you want to stick to the show, because it's nowhere near the all-time highs. Not everything is getting back to all-time highs, but you could get Muse right now at $6.58. All-time high was over 27. My point is, there is a lot of opportunity right now. This is it. You've gone through the doldrums and the dead winter, and now is your chance, and you don't know how long it's going to last. People telling you this is a super cycle, don't watch those shows. They're lying to you. They're telling you have months and months and months. You do not. We probably know when this is going to end, right? Either in March or October, early November of next year, possibly late January. You don't know. You don't know. This could be a 3-month euphoric period, and then the bottom falls out, because the world is a very unpredictable place, right? And so we're getting this great action now. Don't take it for granted. You remember the last 8 months when a lot of people said it's over, right?
Oh yeah, and I want to mention again, attack those profits. If you are picking up something like Muse with a tiny market cap, those pumps are very short. I mean, they're an hour long, 2 hours long sometimes.
A day long, maybe.
It'll go through a meteoric rise and then it'll be gone. So if you're going to buy something that's a low market cap like Muse, you have to have your finger on that profit taking trigger. I mean, and it needs to be itchy, because when that thing pumps, it's going to go off like a skyrocket, but then it's going to come right back down.
Well, you have to pay attention. You have to pay attention to the market. You can't look at it once every 7 to 10 days. That's what you're trying to say. Watch the show.
If you're going to invest in these low cap gems that we're giving you, when you invest in it, plan on keeping your eye on your portfolio for the next 24 to 48 hours. Maybe even longer. And like I said, you really have to watch it like a hawk, because a token like Muse will run in an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. And if you miss that pump, it's gone.
You know how things are going really well? When Cardano is up 25% in the past week.
Cardano had that the bridge to Bitcoin OS.
That's true.
And so you would think with that kind of news that it would pump 25% just on the news, but that doesn't necessarily always happen in crypto.
It's still way below its all-time high. I'm much higher on other projects. That's a discussion for another day. But hey, the good news is, guys, we're back. And I'm MrFOMO. I'm going to force you to do more live shows now that your house is back together. Now that you've got that new job lined. Well, when Bitcoin, we wanna be here, and we've struggled through just zero action, and now we've got it. This is the time to take advantage. guys, share the show because we're going to be giving out, hopefully, yes, do your own research, but some big winners that you want to take advantage of. You don't want to be sitting on the sideline now, right? Now's the time. Now, here's the thing. Obviously, the best time to buy was the past 8 months. We're not going to lie to you and say this is an ideal buying opportunity, but there are several coins, good projects. When I say good projects, I'm talking about within the next 3 to 6 months. I'm not talking about holding these for a year. No, no, no. But there are opportunities still available right now. But if you're thinking to yourself, oh, I'm going to wait, well, you wait too long, like you said. Yeah, you wait a week from now and the muse pump might have already happened, right? And so that's what you want to think about. You could have gotten ETH in the low, way below where it is now a week ago. Look at that chart. And so, you have to be willing to buy in bad times. So now you have the opportunity, if you choose to take profits whenever you want. That's the game. That's what you have to do. The best August, Mr. FOMO, Bitcoin, 49K. Doesn't seem like an eternity now, doesn't it? And people were saying, oh, I'm not sure if this is a good time to buy. I know you got some at 49K.
Right.
But
even a couple of years ago when it was at 20, 15, 25K, people were saying, I don't know if it's a good time to buy. It may go down to 10. Can you imagine being one of those people that didn't buy during that time and now looking at your portfolio going, man, I wish I would have listened to the guys that teaching crypto way back then.
Absolutely. We're here to help you, especially people, Voyager. We, no recovery, no extra recovery for this year, but hopefully we get something back in 2025, final big recovery that gets us close to 100%. We'll keep you locked on that as well. Mr. FOMO, great show. I'm excited to see what the weekend brings because I think next week, I think the momentum continues or never go straight up. There's always going to be some slight corrections, but I'm not seeing a 10, 15K correction anytime soon, at least for the month of November. For Mr. FOMO, the AZcrypto